everybody. Back at it. Chip Brewster here, National Digital Host with Nexstar Media, and this is Across America Good News Edition. Maybe you know my sister show, that is the Monday through Friday, kind of the daily headlines. They include some of the good stuff, some of those feature packages that our company produces, but this show is 100% local feature fun. Sometimes just plain interesting, not even necessarily fun. I haven't done this one in a while. I wanted to show you guys this cool map. This, for those that haven't seen it before, is all of the stations that Nexstar has across the country. So you can look on that map and maybe see where you live and go, wait a minute, oh, that white dot. That explains why I'm seeing Chip on this local station. It's because it's a part of the Nexstar network or Nexstar Media Group. And then the other cool thing that that map does is it really shows you how we get these stories truly from across America. An aptly named show. And if I admit, I did not come up with that name. So props to the team effort to get behind that. What are some of the stories that you will be watching today? Well, this last week, and today is February 27th, there was quite a bit of snow in the Northeast. So that's a snow, that's a snow, that's a snow, that's a snow story. All a little different, but all very Northeast snow related, just fun. And then I've got one on a robot competition at the high school level and a man who has gotten really, really good at really tiny things. So just unique stories all around. Before we get to those though, we're going to start with one that comes from our station in Dayton, Ohio, WDTN. And this story was done as a part of our February effort, February being Black History Month, honoring Black history, where we meet a man who is taking music into the classroom and trying to do it a little bit differently. I wanted to include it because today is one of the last days of February. I know people are going to watch us in March. I know we've done a lot of great honoring Black history specials as a company, but it's just such a good story that it was worth including in a good news edition.
I get approached like, well, we know music is what you love to do, and you play these big stages and these theaters and being a music director. I said, yeah, but that's not my passion.
Music, 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 go!
Music, 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 go!
Who is Darren Bell?
I am a person that comes from a community rich in music. My father played with the Morocco's legendary group, one of the first groups of funk. He spent a lot of time here at City Day Community School.
I started out as a teacher, then became the principal, but I remember Mr. Bell coming to our classrooms with a keyboard, and the kids loved it.
You said your father was here at City Day a lot.
Yes.
And now you're here at City Day quite a bit.
Yes.
What does that parallel look like? What was he doing? What are you doing?
Well, he was going classroom to classroom with like a keyboard or drums. Fast forwarding to me, I bring the technology now. So it's the best of both worlds. You know, we have the traditional way of doing music with traditional instruments that was done early on, now making it relevant using, you know, if we look around, you know, we're using iPads, we're using interactive smart boards and things. It doesn't replace the creativity inside someone. If it does anything, it creates inspiration to bring out what's in them.
So tell me about the technology that you're using in the classroom. What is this?
Oh, so I have an app that I built, and it's called My Music Ed, and it's for social emotional learning and doing music at the same time. So you have students that like to sing, right?
I just love singing.
You have students that like to dance, okay? You have students that like to play instruments, but what about the students that don't do any of that? Well, there's still other areas of the arts. There's fashion and designs, there's graphic designs, there are the engineering positions behind the soundboard, right? Audio, video, text. So next thing you know, when you're in the classroom saying there's a place for everyone in the arts, it's just about them having the opportunity to explore.
I like folk music because I just like it.
It makes me feel good, crazy,
calm. I'm more excited to learn more things.
I listen to it like sometimes when I do my homework. It just makes my sadness go away.
Every time I come home, I just dance.
That's a test. I feel like I'm gonna do a good job when I listen to the music.
What we sort of practices did was, my first year here, we had 76 suspensions. Up to last year, we had 0.
How does it make you feel that you are having an impact on these young people's lives?
Oh, amazing. It's heavy. The feeling in it, the emotion tied into it. It's a tearjerker.
I hope you understand why I had to get that one in, even though, again, it was done for our Honoring Black History specials. Very cool story. out of Dayton, Ohio. Great way to kick off Across America Good News Edition for this week. We're now going to go over to a station in South Dakota that is KELO in Sioux Falls. This was a story that really caught my eye because I'm a fan of libraries. I got kids, love to take them to the library. They got the kids section. Usually they can play with some things there, and then they leave it all there. We take some books home. This one takes a little bit of a different spin on the idea behind a library and what kids really want out of it.
It's wall-to-wall toys at Child's Play Toys in downtown Sioux Falls. Owner Nancy Savage discovered her passion for toys playing alongside her daughter decades ago at a store in Seattle, Washington.
I wanted to bring the same type of experience that I had with my daughter with play to Sioux Falls. And I always knew my family had a business downtown growing up, and I always knew I wanted to open a store downtown.
Savage sells items for kids of all ages, but also makes it a point to give back to the community by donating toys to the Toy Lending Library.
It brings me such joy to know that kids are getting a great toy and learning by play, and that is just so important for development. And I just feel like what Annalise is doing, the number of boxes that she has is just amazing.
There was not a time that I knocked on her door and she said no. She's always been there, and she has been doing so much to bring play to our community.
The Toy Lending Library is currently hosting the Great Toy Roundup, urging businesses and groups to collect toys that will eventually end up in a toy box.
Ideally, our toys are like new, clean, that are for children 0 to 5 years old and can be toys and books.
Executive Director Annalise Cosione says learning starts long before kindergarten.
You need to learn a lot of skills before you're ready to start school. And you learn a lot of those skills when you're playing.
And whether you're at the Toy Lending Library to play or donate, Savage encourages you to check it out.
There are so many great opportunities for play and for education and for learning.
In Sioux Falls, Travis Fossing, KELOLAND News.
And that's cool because if you don't have something like that where you live, maybe this gave you the idea and you could take that and start your own toy lending library. Another cool story, this one coming to us from our station in Syracuse, New York, WSYR. It's one of the quicker ones I have in today, but it was still of such a good one, just like positive, unique local nature that it deserves some time. Just even the 1 minute it runs in this episode.
Syracuse University, students aren't spending their free time in bed. Instead, they're making beds for children in need.
The Syracuse University Volunteer Organization partnered with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, a nonprofit, to provide all the materials and logistics to get these beds built for children without them. Organizers say this is more than just a volunteer event. It's knowing that their time and effort will leave a big mark.
It's something we take granted often, and being able to go help and provide that for someone else is a really big motivator, which is why so many people show up on a Friday when instead they want to rest from the week they had or study. I think this is a bigger issue that really speaks to the hearts of people and why they show up.
Proving that spending a little bit of your free time can make a big difference in a child's life. At Syracuse University, Lindsey Peters, News Channel 9.
It kind of reminds me of a little bit of like a Habitat for Humanity. I worked at a station in Houston where that was their big thing, where they built the walls of a house in their parking lot once or maybe even twice a year, but doing beds instead of homes. Also something that is in need. We are off to a good start. We've got several more stories in store. After a quick break, we're diving into the Northeast and that big old blizzard that came in. A lot of fun came out of that as well. I'll see you back here real soon. And we are back. I talked about that blizzard. I saw a bunch of different snow headlines, nor'easter, bomb cyclone, a foot of snow, and it did cover a decent portion of the Northeast. So we're going to take 4 stories. They're all pretty quick, but just to kind of dive into how that snow was received. This first one is coming from our station in Providence, Rhode Island, WPRI, and it's all about some kids getting out there and reacting to the snowfall in a way where they're just helping their community.
For all of those who stepped up to the task of assisting their neighborhoods and communities, they will be given an Operation Blizzard 2026 patch. Those who participated helped out by shoveling out the driveways and walkways of their elderly and disabled neighbors, or by aiding first responders by clearing fire hydrants of all the snow. Operation Blizzard 2026 can be best described as a major success. According to those with the Scouting America Narragansett Council, over 500 kids ranging from kindergartners to seniors in high school have submitted for the Operation Blizzard 2026 patch already.
The values that we're teaching kids to be good citizens, to help other people, it's not just words that they're saying. They're really internalizing that. The impact is real, and these scouts have really shown it with this storm.
And for the scouts who have been putting in the work since the snow stopped falling, the most rewarding part of this entire experience is simple.
Helping out.
You like helping out?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about helping out?
Doing the work.
Arnold says scouts have been willing to tend to whatever needs community members may have, whether it be clearing sidewalks, driveways, walkways, yards, or even cars. He adds the feedback from residents across Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts has been overwhelmingly positive.
People are so thankful to have the scouts that have gone out to help. And we keep getting calls in the office for people looking for help.
And Arnold says you can submit a request to have a scout assist you by going to beascout.org.
The scouts don't do it for the patch. The patch is a nice thank you. The scouts are doing it because they care about the community.
And Arnold adds that the scouts' work isn't done. They'll continue to help shovel out their neighbors and areas around their community in the coming days. Reporting in Warwick, Ethan Logue, 12 News.
Way to go, Scouts. And I know the Scouts aren't the only ones who are getting out there and helping their neighbor. In fact, just neighbors getting out there and helping their neighbor. So thank you to everybody who got out there and did something for someone else. These next three stories, yes, still snow related, but what's more, they're all coming from the same station. They definitely won the week, in my opinion, as far as fun snow coverage. That is WTNH in New Haven, Connecticut. The first one that I'm going to bring to you is about a wedding that, would it have been canceled because of the blizzard? Maybe. Is that what they literally asked for? A blizzard, some snow on their wedding day? I think yes.
We did want a winter theme. I think I wished a little too hard for a winter theme.
Kelly and Robert wanted their wedding date to be 2/22, but the weather forecast looked very wintry indeed. That didn't stop them, however.
We sat and we were going to make it happen.
Yeah, and we did.
And we did, and we ended up moving the time up. I called all the vendors. Everybody was fantastic. They were all on board, and where there's a will, there's a way. So
I'm sure they didn't want to be stuck in the storm either. So
no, they're like,
they
we were waiting. They were waiting for our calls. Like, we're wondering if you guys are going to call us to make sure that we move it up. We don't want anyone to get stuck in the snow.
Yeah.
They got married a few hours early, but everyone they needed to be there showed up. And when the snow really started falling, they leaned into that winter theme. Unfortunately, their flight to Punta Cana for their honeymoon got canceled, but they worked that out too.
Now we are about to rent a car and road trip down to North Carolina and fly out of North Carolina at 6 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
No better way to start a marriage. 12 hours in the car together, and we are again determined to get to our honeymoon destination.
You could see a blizzard on your wedding day as a bad omen, but for the Noonans, it seemed to clear up what was really important.
I mean, I was telling her if there's one person that shows up or if there's 1,000 people that show up, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, we're still doing this for us. So it could just be the two of us dancing by ourselves all night, and it'll still be our day.
And now it's a day no one will ever forget. I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.
He's got that right. I'll tell you what, the pictures with the snow really drove that point home. Adorable. Congratulations. Hope you made it to Punta Cana A-OK. And are laying on a beach enjoying the sun while everyone back here is still dealing with that snow. Next snow story, again, from WTNH, is all about getting people into a sport that they otherwise might not be able to do on their own. So this group helps them out. You'll see why right now.
I'm so excited. These volunteers are on a very important mission, helping and teaching those with disabilities conquer the mountain.
See you later.
The Mount Southington Ski Resort, home base for the Leaps of Faith Adaptive Ski Program. It gives volunteers a sense of fulfillment.
I have a passion for working with people with disabilities. I get as much out of it, if not more, than the participants.
It's just such a win-win to help use our own skills to help other people enjoy the mountain and go out skiing.
And fills participants with gratitude.
I've been able to learn how to do more things because of this, and not just on the mountain, but in real life. Like, it's gave me more confidence when traveling, when going to and from places, and it is just wonderful.
No matter their age or disability, this is the feeling that keeps the program going. And on this day, volunteers with Quinnipiac University are here as well.
I get to see that students apply what they learn in the classroom to the slopes. And really, they're able to look at someone with a condition they've never seen before. And they begin maybe with a medical record. Then they get here and they realize people are not medical records.
Teaching students very important lessons they'll be taking with them.
I'm completing my field work in adaptive sports with rock climbing in Colorado, so I'm following this passion into my future.
For everyone, it makes moments like these even more special. In Plantsville, ZURI HOFFMAN, News 8.
Super cool. Super cool. I admit that I am very biased as not only a big snow skiing guy, favorite sport ever, but my older sister has a disability. So seeing people combine those two things to have a great time on the mountain, really hard for me to not smile and maybe shed a tear. That story. Okay, ZURI HOFFMAN was a reporter on that one. You know what? She's a reporter on this one too. Really interesting stuff. I did a story, or I showed you all a story 2 weeks ago about a skijoring taking place in Utah. Okay, so this is skijoring, but not with a horse.
There's nothing like the bond between a man and his pup.
When you're going down these woods, it's so hard to explain the feeling. It's just amazing.
You can say Robert Barco and Aria are connected at the hip.
I bring her everywhere with me. I want her to be included.
So when it came to finding a winter sport the two could do together,
we tried it, and ever since then, she loved it.
Skijoring was top of the list. It's similar to cross-country skiing.
The only difference is your dog's pulling you pretty much. You still have the fish scales on the bottom of your skis.
Barco says it took a lot of training. 2 years to get to this point.
Good girl, huh?
But these two are now pros.
Heel.
Not only did Barco train Aria to do this, he also works at Bonato Enterprises selling exotic cars. So when he needed to get to work during Monday's blizzard, he knew just how to do it. He and Aria skijoring 2 miles Monday. It took about an hour and a half, with some breaks along the way.
She can only run so much, and then she gets into like a speed walk.
Aria doing what she does best.
She always wants to find something to do. That's the biggest thing.
Barco hoping to bring more attention to the sport and welcomes more owner and pup duos to join them during the next round of snow.
Hopefully, I hope I make them take their working dogs out or larger dog breeds. It would be awesome to me to see more people doing it.
In Oxford, ZURI HOFFMAN, News 8.
I don't have a dog. I've got 2 cats. That's not going to work for me. But I'll tell you what, I just told you how much I love skiing. That makes me want to almost get one of those big dogs just to do a little local skijoring. No horse needed. That is it for our snow stories. We still have 2 more for you, but we do have to take a quick break. When we come back, it's all about robots and what was the other thing? Oh, making big impressions with tiny, tiny things. See you soon. Hey, I mentioned robots and tiny things. We're going to start with the tiny things. So we're about to meet a man, this one coming from our Lexington, Kentucky station, WDKY, who has got a skill. The skill itself is massive, but the output, you heard me do it already, right? Yeah, you did. Okay.
It uses a lot of pins.
Bob Haven is a maker of fine jewelry, very, very fine jewelry, such as necklaces that can fit on the tip of your finger.
My hands always have to be busy. My hands have to be doing something.
But his large talent doesn't stop at tiny trinkets. He makes miniature furniture, books, paintings, and hand-stitched rugs. He's a room designer, but his rooms are inside wooden boxes that can sit on a shelf. They may be art galleries, Victorian mansions, or New England cottages. He's easily inspired.
You know, it's been a lifelong study of American architecture and interiors, and I've spent my life in the theater world, so I've seen a lot of really good set designs, but I would like to build rooms that I would like to live in, but essentially can't afford to.
If you could shrink yourself and walk into one of Bob's rooms, you'd see no detail is overlooked. Cushions match the wallpaper. The floors have intricate designs. The dishes, books, and flowers all look real. You could be living large in this petite parlor. Bob started making miniatures in 1973 when a friend told him she'd like a grandfather clock for her dollhouse. He made one in his father's workshop and never looked back.
I got hooked quickly, yes.
Now, more than 50 years later, Bob is a giant in the land of the small, winning Best of Show ribbons at the Kentucky State Fair for 3 of the past 4 years. This hobby takes patience, a steady hand, and an incredible attention to detail.
There is a great deal of math, and I am not a math person, but I can scale things down to 1 inch to the foot.
Bob has sold a few room boxes, but he works on them mostly for his own enjoyment.
Pretty much every day.
They're placed throughout his Lexington home as hidden treasures for visitors to discover. There's even a miniature throne in his guest bathroom above the full-size one.
Here's the next hole.
From this workshop, Bob Haven gets the big picture.
People always ask, well, how do you do that? How do you do that? I said, well, you just sit down and you do it.
That it's often the little things that can make us the happiest.
I don't have time for that. Me personally, I'm just being honest. Like I the patience and his fine attention to detail. I applaud you, sir, because a lot of us could not do that. We've got one story left for you on this week's Good News edition, and it comes to us from our station in Chicago, WGN. It's all about robots, baby. I know I usually end with animals, but I had the dog and the SKIJORING one. So for this week, we're going robots to end the show.
In the northwest suburbs, it's a look into the future. 43 robots, one high-energy showdown.
We have live streaming, we got professional lights in to really give an atmosphere of like a state championship robotics competition.
This is the second round for the Robot Rumble at Elk Grove High School, a competition bringing together teams from 15 different schools.
To bring their student-designed, developed, created, and driven robots to kind of beat up on each other. And the goal of it is to be the last robot standing by the end of today.
This isn't just about bragging rights, though. No, these students have spent months designing, programming, and then building their machines from the ground up.
I've learned electronics, I've learned how to weld, just everything necessary to help the robot succeed. Because we didn't see any lights in here, right?
Troubleshooting code, refining mechanics, and learning what it takes to compete under pressure.
We've been able to have a lot of moments where we can figure out what's wrong with our robot, figure out what we need to fix, and still like stay calm and collected as a group.
The competition is hands-on learning in action.
So it really takes a lot of the concepts they learn in the classroom and applies it to the real world. It really brings it to life.
Preparing students for careers in manufacturing, in engineering, and in skilled trades.
All of this can be used to like learn and prepare for like a future career.
Even if they don't want to go into an engineering career, just to have a space where you can use your creativity and teamwork to solve problems.
Organizers say events like this give students real-world experience you can't always get from a book.
We go into a match, we come back and figure out what's wrong as a team.
How we get do better than collaboration is just a life skill that we'll always need.
And while the robots may steal the spotlight here, it is the students behind the controls who are in control to be the next generation of engineers. At Elk Grove High School, Sean Lewis, WGN News.
I honestly don't remember if my school had anything like that when I went to it. If it did, it was just oblivious. I was a band and theater dude. But man, if I could go back, even if they didn't, and talk about doing something like that, I don't know. I get kind of suckered into robots nowadays and techie stuff. But that's a little too much about me. Let's talk about you. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Across America Good News Edition. I will see you again real soon. Until then, take care.